Okay, here, let's respond to this message. I won't give any names, just the details of the message. Excuse me. Hi, Kurt. We recently connected on another social media service, and I wanted to follow up with a more personal, if somewhat lengthy message. And by the way, I'm sorry for being so long in getting back to you, my friend, on this. Boy, it's been a while. I've been watching your many channels and videos for some months now, particularly enjoying your wilderness videos and hearing your many insights on the world around you. If you'll forgive a moment of introspection, I feel I need to share with you a little of my life in order to show you how much I enjoy your many YouTube channels. I'm currently 26 and still finding my way through this crazy world of ours. My greatest love is music, and my biggest concern is time. Far too much of which I spend or perhaps waste, wondering if what I'm doing is worthwhile. I need to lead a somewhat selfish life in order to fulfill all of my aspirations and musical endeavors, in the pursuit of which I have met a lot of incredible people and happened upon the realization that I am not the only individualist in the universe. Interesting, the observation that you're an individualist. There are others who are at their most content when they are alone. There are others who enjoy their independence and live a life free from the social trappings that conformity brings. There are those who question everything and everyone, maybe on a subconscious level, to better understand themselves. Wow, some good insight there. Over the last few years, I have come to realize how important it is to be myself, but more importantly, how that behavior affects those around me, sometimes for the better and, unfortunately, sometimes for the worse. I have much more liberal views than those around me and sometimes feel lost in a sea of judgment and closed-mindedness. But life is not a struggle for me, far from it. I have a thick skin and really enjoy my independence. Wow, 26? Amazing to have this kind of insight into yourself, or at least a perspective on yourself. Upon stumbling upon your videos in a YouTube channel hopping craze one night, a few months back, there's a sentence, I felt I'd met a kindred spirit and realized that I can be completely myself and not affect those around me in a negative way by, one, traversing the wilderness and seeking quality alone time, and two, finding that special someone in life who is willing to accept me for who I am and put up with my silliness for as long as that relationship endures. I just want to take an aside for a moment and comment on that. Yeah, you can do that, what you just described there, and I can see why you felt a connection when you saw my videos, because that's exactly how I've lived my life. One, traversing the wilderness, whether it be wilderness of reality, a tangible wilderness, or a wilderness in here. Go check out my GERD channel to see the tangled mess that exists in here. Not necessarily a bad tangled mess, although I've gone through periods and places in my mind that were a tangled mess. For the most part, it's more akin to being off the beaten trail. Like this road right back here, that's an abandoned road. And I can go off of this paved road that I'm on right now and into something like that, in fact, or in theory, or in here, more or less, as you're describing as well. And the trick, the other part, point two, you said, is finding a special someone in life who's willing to accept me for who I am and put up with my silliness for as long as that relationship endures. Good point. I've been lucky in that capacity as well. My wife, we've been together 25 years, going on 26 years now, and that is it took her a long time. She's from a diametrically opposite, in every capacity and every capability, culture. Very conservative, very reserved people that the Japanese are, and me, I was raised by hippies. Yet she was drawn to that in a way, and as I was drawn to her world in a way to give kind of a balance, that stereotypical seesaw balance type of a thing. But at the same time, she respects and encourages this, especially after all these years, where she's come to understand that a happy Kurt is a Kurt that's a little bit bruised, bloodied, and just emerging from wildness and solitude. And I'm a better husband and father and man in every capacity. And so maybe it's more of a recognition of care and feeding of that type of person. You're that type of person as well. So yeah, you find that person, and it's good to be upfront. I would recommend, boy, you're such a good writer. I would recommend almost keeping this email that you sent me and reading this verbatim to once you get a person in your life that you would think you might be the candidate to spend your time with, maybe read them this and help them to see who you are. First, check to see if they understand what you're saying. Some people don't, and it's not a matter of that they're not intelligent. It's just a matter of it's an alien frontier that may not relate to them. Just as there are people who talk about things that you and I won't understand. It doesn't mean that we're not bright in any way. It just means that we just can't relate, and that's okay. So, and two, if she gets it, and then two, if she accepts it, and he or she, I don't know in this day and age, then that's important as well. On we go. Upon stumbling onto your videos in a YouTube channel, oh, there we go, you already said that. In a recent video, you said, don't ever get fooled into thinking I'm a clever man, I'm just a man, but you're so much more than that. Oh my goodness. Kurt, you're a man who makes a difference, and you've certainly made a difference in my life in more ways than I can express. Thank you. The day after watching the aforementioned video, I was inspired to make a journey of my own, and thus set out on a hike in the forest of mercy. Whoa, that's the bumblebee. Yesterday I had a close encounter with a Kiro Suzumebachi, the yellow Suzumebachi, which parked it. I was sitting on this just up the way, and it did that, but that was just a bumblebee. No problem. I won't say the name of the forest you're in. I have to keep everything private. In the forest of M, a scattering of wild... Let me start over again at that first part. The day after watching the aforementioned video, I was inspired to make a journey of my own, and thus set out on a hike in the forest of M, a scattering of wild, relatively unexplored woodland areas close to my home. 8 hours of drawn blood, cuts and bruises, mosquito bites, nettle stings, and sunburn later, I emerged from the forest one happy, happy man. I get it. A lot of people get it. There's lots of us. I know what you mean. The spontaneous wild adventure brought with it a greater appreciation for the countryside at my doorstep. I went off the beaten track to avoid civilization, and at one point during an admittedly dangerous trek encountered a rare sighting of a red deer. I've attached a picture. It remains to this day my desktop background and serves as a gentle reminder of that very special day of exploration, a symbol of the path of wildness, an endorsement of the old adage, life is a journey, not a destination. I have that experience too. I have my wallpaper. What the heck? My wallpaper is a photo that I took, and it's not that we're tooting our own horns by using our own photos. It's just that it's like having a photo on your desk that brings back a memory, and it's funny because mine is exactly the same thing. It's a wild place, whereas yours is the deer that you saw. Mine is a wild spot that I call the Wild Gate. Thank you for everything. Thank you, Kurt, for everything, especially your time and patience in reading a mad something man, giving away his country, ramble on rather self-indulgently about trivial matters for far too long. Ha ha ha. Enjoy your weekend. Best wishes from this country. And there's your name, and there's the photo of the deer. Very, very. Let's see. Now I'm going to say that. Well, I think I've kind of address the things along the way. You are an adventurer. You are an individualist. You're a man who prefers his solitude. Like I think you would like the old saying of Thoreau's. I think if you would outfit your house, you'd outfit it like Thoreau's. With 3 chairs, one chair for solitude, 2 for company, and 3 for society, and that's about enough. Me too. That's about all I need as well. The tricky thing, and I'll give this out as a caution, is the type of person that you are, is that you can be led into the wilderness and not come back. And I don't mean that literally. I mean, although that could happen too. I mean it more figuratively. People like us can, who are comfortable with leaving the safe spheres of society, can venture so far away in our thinking. And it's not that we're smarter or better in any way. It's just that we're willing to entertain thoughts that are off the beaten path, so to speak. But the danger is that we get off the path so far that we're experiencing things and discovering things that are very interesting, but become irrelevant to the rest of the world. That others just don't relate to it. because it's an alien thought. And when that happens, you become quite alone, and it may be difficult to get back. I've met people like that, and I call it when they communicate to the rest of the world, it's like semaphores from the edge, like those waving flags, way off in the distance, you're waving your flags, and it's nonsense to everybody else. Although you're communicating what you saw, what you experienced way over here, it's nonsense. It's a danger of finding yourself in a position of irrelevance, which is okay if you don't mind remaining irrelevant. Some can get back, some cannot. As for myself, it's been a struggle, and the only reason I've been able to stay hopefully relevant is because of the decisions that I made as a young man. I remember that moment. I was in wilderness, and I made the decision to come back. I was on my way into nothing, sitting on top of a mountain with lightning storm on the distant mountains, and flashing, and I sat there, and I realized at that moment that I could either go down the path and remain, or come back and find a sanctuary among my fellows, my wife and who was my girlfriend at the time, and my family and my community and my society, and make forays instead, and come back forays and come back, and then keep my voice and my communication and remain connected. And I hope that you can find your balance as well. It's a danger, but it's also a blessing indeed. Good luck, my friend. Let me know how things go. I think that you are off to a wonderful start. Ooh, an ant on my phone. Get off there. I want to take you home. You won't be happy at my house. Your community is here, just as you will find your community as well. Maybe you've already done so. Find that special person. Get connected and venture on your life. Now I can use my remote control to sign off. Take care. Bye-bye.